Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. This is Dr. Azrul speaking. Today I will cover a new topic called polymorphism. In general, polymorphism is an extension topic from inheritance, which we have previously looked into, and perhaps the knowledge. Okay, you are required to have some basic knowledge on inheritance in order for you to get more understanding in this polymorphism topic. This is the learning objective. First of all, I will explain the definitions of polymorphism, and then the first subtopic that I will cover for today will be dynamic binding, and also some generic programming concept, which is the inheritance itself. This is the chapter outline for the first topic. Okay, dynamic binding, and we have more subtopics coming later. Right, this is the first program in order for you to understand what is basically a polymorphism. Polymorphism, as I mentioned earlier, is a extension topic from inheritance, where if you can see in this program, we have several number of classes, name, graduate students, and also person. And what happened is these classes are sharing the same method called toString. And perhaps if you can observe in the main methods, we try to invoke the M methods with a one parameter data type. Okay, we have a X as the object type. Alright, so the first statement, for example, okay, we are creating a new object for graduate student, and then we call the M method, and this M method is basically try to print out, okay, an output, okay, by calling the toString methods that is basically comes from those classes. As you can see in this graduate student, there is no toString methods declared, and then the Java virtual machine or also the compiler will try to find toString methods from its superclass graduate student extends student. If the toString method is not found in graduate student, the JVM Java virtual machine will find it from the student class. This is what we call as a dynamic binding or polymorphisms. Alright, so what is a dynamic binding? Dynamic binding is a special definitions from inheritance and also from polymorphism, where it explains how a compiler can resolve the invocations of methods, the call of the methods, and the binding, which is basically done during the runtime. It's not only from the coding process, but you should try to execute the program, then the compiler or Java virtual machine will resolve the process. As you can see in our previous example, the toString method is not defined in the graduate student, then the compiler or Java virtual machine will try to find the toString methods from its superclass, which is the student class. This dynamic binding, okay, we can look into several numbers of advantages and also disadvantages. As you can see on the slides here, the flexibility, we are extensibility, but the disadvantages, which involve a high cost of programming or technical efforts, and also the type error detection is only can be done during the execution times. Right, these slides will explain in more technical way. Alright, as you can see the in the gray box, okay, we have a C class starting from its superclass Cn, Cn-1, C2 until the lowest level of the class, which is C1. So everything comes into several numbers of level to that is basically represented by its subclass and superclass. And Cn is the most general class, as you can see in the slide, whereas C1 is the most specific or the lowest class subclass. Alright, in Java, Cn is the object class, which is that will be the super highest level of the class that every single Java library things is basically implemented in this object class. For example, if we are creating if we are creating an object called O, and then this object O invokes a method called P, and the JVM, the Java Virtual Machine, try to search the implementations for the methods P from the lower class, the subclass. If the method is not found, it will go proceed to the second, or it's for to the its superclass C2, and if not found, it will proceed to find the methods P continuously until it can be found in the superclass. Alright, once the implementation is found, the search stops and the first found implementation is invoked. So what is a method matching and also a binding? What we have looked just now is basically binding, where we can see that a method that is declared in one subclass, if not found, okay, the Java virtual machine or the compiler will try to find in its superclass. This is the binding. Whereas the method matching, we can assume we can try to relate with the overloading methods, as we already looked from inheritance topic. Overloading means you are you are basically define two methods with the same name but different parameter. The first, for example, the first method M methods comes with integer x, while the second M methods is defined with double x parameter. So this is basically the method matching. Try to find the exact suitable parameter type before it can be executed. Alright, before we close this dynamic binding subtopic, it will be good for you to recap the examples, okay, the program example stated earlier. Alright, so from these examples you can basically relate the definitions of method matching, which is the two-string methods, and also the dynamic binding. The dynamic binding comes from the as you can see in the graduate student class, where it didn't declare any two-string methods. Okay, the method can be found only in the student class. This is the dynamic binding. Alright, so if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact myself, or you can drop any questions in the Google Classroom. Till then, hope to see you in the next subtopic. Take care everyone, stay safe, stay at home, and be safe. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.